little bit of a hiatus, had a death in the family, all's well. A grandmother that lived a long, long, beautiful life. So that was the hiatus. So I appreciate your patience. So many amazing things going on right now that there's almost too much to talk about. So we're going to get into some of this week. But one of the big things is Donald Trump and his realization on talking about the trans movement and just really how incredible he is at just perception, using some of his higher faculties, but perception, seeing what's going on with the people and what's actually happening in the environment and within the populace. So I think that's one just quick little note, and why he's so effective and why he's such a great persuader and great persuader is because he can sense, he's using his higher faculties, using perception. Just one of those things. Again, Bob Proctor talks about I want to give you guys ways to actually better your life. The great Rush Limbaugh, there's all kinds of people out there. They talked about current events a lot, and they talked about how to get better and things like that. But one of my beefs with current event people is not talking about how to actually get better. You're kind of stuck listening to current event people because it's like the hot topic of the day. It's a trending topic. It's the social media trending thing. And it doesn't make you smarter necessarily. You can get informed on topics, but you're not getting smarter to be able to sift through things, be able to see things. So one of those things we're going to talk about more and more as I get my whiteboard back in the coming months, get a little bit of a different place we're going to be doing content from, which I cannot wait, because that's my original form of content over the last 10 years is truly whiteboarding and going and looking at that. So I laugh at some of the people out there like the Marco whiteboards and the George Gammon, some of these people that got really big, because these were things that 10 years ago I was doing online, doing videos of in whiteboarding. So it's cool to see people using that technique and creating little channels just literally called whiteboard or whatever, right? So it's pretty cool to see that. I'm not the inventor of that. I'm just saying it's just very cool to see that progression and what can be done. In saying that, the 6 higher faculties, perception, will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition, those are the 6 higher faculties we have to use, and we don't, because school has taken that out of us. Just we're trying to do memorization, not memory, and so we don't even learn how to actually tackle things. Social media, our attention span is so small now, we can't even sit back and think on things and actually use that. So the big thing to take away, obviously, is using those higher faculties. The higher faculties are what's going to get you out there, and the Donald Trump thing is really that in action. It's using the intuition and perception in really to a T, and why he's so effective. And people are going to sit here, I'm going to get comments like, oh, Donald Trump, guy was voted president, for crying out loud. Like, he literally was voted president, and probably voted president again, because not one of you can actually guarantee me what happened with that vote, or audit it, or have any idea what happened with it. So that is hilarious in its own right, and that speaks to why he has such ardent and fervent supporters. And that's such a huge thing, to be able to use those higher faculties. And there's many other examples, but just a realization, just some quick news and stuff I was catching up on, and seeing that, and just laughed to myself, just wow, the perception he has and the intuition he has is really uncanny. And people, there's very few people in the world that can take $1 million and make billions out of them. Most people, NFL, NBA, lottery winners, they all get millions of dollars, and then they lose it all. 80-90+% of people lose it all. So I laugh when people are like, oh, he started out with a bunch of money and daddy helped him. To be able to do that, it takes so much skill and wherewithal and entrepreneurial acumen in using those 6 higher faculties that literally 99% of people could never do that. They could not do that. They think like going and putting like $1 million on like red at the casino and like, oh, I made $1 billion. That's not how this works. That's not how it works. And again, I've made a fraction of that, but going from literally in debt, playing professional hockey and being in debt, and went into debt to actually buy assets, buying silver at the time actually, and wedding ring, engagement ring for my now wife. And then growing that to become an accredited investor, and going forward from that, and beyond that is just, I'm a fraction of that, but knowing what it took the last 12 years, 14 years of study, and seeing the uniparty be destroyed, or unveiling itself and destroying the country in the process, and realizing I needed to figure out what was going on in my life, and learning Bob Proctor and Jim Rohn, the 6 higher faculties, and learning how my brain worked, knowing my mental game wasn't as strong as it needed to be, understanding and learning investing, understanding and learning business and entrepreneurship, and how to run those things, how to manage people, how to raise money, how to make money out of nothing, and use debt to my advantage. Those are all things they don't teach you in school, and those are things you have to do in practice. You study, get some education first, and that's why things we do here, then you go put them into practice. And literally 99 out of 100 people cannot do that. Probably more. Probably 999 of 1,000 people cannot do that. That's why I laugh when people, give Trump a hard time, because they're jealous, right? They're jealous. They don't like how he talks. They don't like how he walks. They don't like how he uses, his New York accent. They don't like how he talks like he's in the locker room. He gets people, and that's why he's been so successful. So, if you take one thing, this is not a Donald Trump video. I could care less either way. I want you to be better. I want you to remove and be able to hold 2 opposing opinions in your head at the same time. Be able to not like a guy, be able to hate someone, and also be able to learn from them at the same time. One of my favorite sayings is someone that's wrong all the time is just as effective as someone who's right all the time. So being able to understand that and see things from both sides and be able to explain both points of view is something we've completely lost, and that's why our intelligence has gone so low. When emotion goes up, intelligence goes down. It's another one of my favorite sayings. So we have to understand that. We have to use our higher faculties to be humans. We're God's highest form of creation. We have all those abilities. We're not animals. We literally have all the ability to create anything we want in the world. And so many of us just settle. We settle for having no goals, settle for a simple paycheck every week, settle for having 2 weeks of vacation every year, settling for someone telling us when we can go to the bathroom or not, settling for formal schooling when Mrs. Smith down the street is going to teach us everything we need to know about life, settling for not having any children, settling for only having 1 child, settling for only having 10 children, whatever it is, settling for having children, and it just goes on and on, right? Why settle? Why settle when we can do anything we set our mind to? Anything. We're not limited by anything. One of my favorite people, in wrapping this up, like him, love him, or hate him, and that's why I'm bringing this up too, is Grant Cardone. Just like Donald Trump, a guy like Donald Trump, but the mind he has and the way he attacks things is something that I wish I had. I don't even have it to the degree he has it. I wish everyone had that. And the way he attacks and sets goals and achieves them, and it's mindset. It's all mindset. Growing up poor in the South, a complete opposite of Donald Trump. And if he can become a billionaire and Donald Trump can become a billionaire, those 2 things, holding opposing opinions in your head at the same time, 2 people from totally different ends of the spectrum, poor in the South or rich in the Northeast, anyone can do it. So those 6 higher faculties, start understanding them, start seeing them in other people, start using them to your own benefit and your own success in life. I thank you for coming to this TED Talk. Please share this out, because the algorithm hates truth. The algorithm hates anything where you're actually learning. This is why they added STEM, for crying out loud, to TikTok, because people are getting so upset. They're like, I'm just watching garbage all the time. They actually have a STEM learning channel now, and that's going to become bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on, as people start understanding that the education system is broken, completely broken. So let's get smart about what we're doing. Teach ourselves, teach our children, and everything changes there from there on out. We control the youth, we control the future. We control ourselves, we control the future. So please share this out. It's not financial advice, this is freedom advice. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.